Hello there, everybody. This is King Mac, your friendly hamburger pal. Welcome to this feature presentation on YouTube. Be sure to enjoy a hot, fresh cheeseburger along with some delicious golden French fries, a tasty milkshake, and a nice soft drink. Thank you all for watching, and now sit back and relax and enjoy as Tony here brings you our feature presentation of TTBurger game reviews.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so
Boo, boo, boo! Boo, boo! Were you scared? Well, I hope we got you this. If not, the next episode will get you guys for sure. Hello, everybody! Welcome back to more TTBurger game reviews. You are watching here on YouTube, and we're continuing with my Halloween here for the month of Halloween all October long. And I'm going to tell you this now, the horror stuff will also continue in November because there's so many games we want to talk about here, and that's what we're going to be doing here. And we're wrapping up my Dead Space series with episode 252, part 3 of 3, the final part. Before I get started, I want to shout out to Freaking HD and Sub-Zero, and the next for King Mac, along with Dead Hypolamia, Brickles from Stateside, Megs, and Black Healer, and more. Also, I'm going to shout out to Homie RJ, Red Hood Assassin, this is the sensational no Gen, Rockstar Pool 69, Okujiwa, and more. And I want to shout out to everyone who has supported this channel for the last 6 years. If you guys' channel was not being big today, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all because this channel is still big and growing as it is today. And before we get started here with the final part of my Dead Space series review, let's go down to Seattle, Washington, check out how our friend Jackalburger is doing. Hey Jack, what you shaking today down in Seattle? Pumpkin patch going okay or something like that? And doing everything well there? Hope everything's doing well. How you doing?
Hey Tony, everything is shaking bacon like a fresh Halloween pumpkin with a side of bacon.
Yum, that does sound good, but the problem is I'm not a big fan of bacon though, so I don't think pumpkin and bacon go together, but hey, glad to hear, bro. So you ready for more Dead Space action? We're at the final part here, episode 252, part 3 of 3.
Yum. You bet, Tony. Why don't we get to the review? I am sure everyone is waiting to hear your thoughts.
Well, we will get to it, Jack, but first, we need to get to the TTBurger recap, to show the viewers what happened in case they missed anything instead of missed one of the 2 episodes or so from the beginning.
Oh yeah, silly me. Haha. Well, let's get to this recap and get some Dead Space 3 action ready, Tony. I am ready whenever you are. I'm ready
whenever you are. So, those of you missed what happened in episode 252, part 2 of 3, here's a TTBurger recap. Show you what you missed. I took a look at Dead Space 2 for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC, and gave it an 8 out of 10 because it was a fun game, but still, there were some things where kind of, were not as good as the first game, like the horror elements and the scare were not as big as were in the first part. But still, it's a funny overall. Definitely should be worth checking out, especially the 1.3 version because you get the on-rail shooter spin-off Dead Space Extraction there. So that's good, definitely there if you have like the Dead Space games for sure. But today we're going to zoom ahead to February 5th, 2013 here, as we're going to take a look at the final Dead Space game here in the Dead Space trilogy. And we got it right here. This is Dead Space 3 by Electronic Arts, Visceral Games, and more. Let's get started here. Now I will say that Dead Space 3 is a good game, but compared to the other 2 before it, Dead Space 3 is somewhat disappointing, mainly due to the fact that this game takes all the horror elements from the first 2 games, or most of it so, and turn it into a glorified linear action shooter that takes place in space. Now this is not completely bad because there are some good moments here in this game, but it's still, why did they turn this horror theme, the survival horror series, into a linear action shooter? I will never know. It's several different from the same problems that 3 had at launch, which we'll cover for another day. But if you play Mass Effect, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if not, you'll find out when I review the Mass Effect series in the future. Dead Space 3 once again puts us in the role of Isaac Clarke, the engineer for the first 2 games. Isaac has been doing better after coming to grips with what happened to his girlfriend Nicole, Brennan and stuff, and more. This time Isaac is joined by John Carver, who's to discover the source of the Necromorphs at the crash site in the iceland known as the town of Volantis. Isaac must survive the harsh exposure to find the key to ending the Necromorphs and stop the sniper once and for all. And the story's okay, I didn't mind the story, but it doesn't have a horror feel to it. It feels like an action game this time. The way Isaac meets these characters and such, they're not survivors or damsels in distress or anything. He's like pilots, technicians, and repair people and such. And just the setting itself seems like an action setting and stuff, and more than a horror themed game and stuff. And also, a lot of the characters are very unlikable. A lot of them are mean to Isaac and treat him like crap and push him around. He just sits there and takes and stuff like that. And especially Ellie Langford, who was in the second game, and who's pretty much Isaac's love interest and stuff like that. She claims that he just left her more, and just does not make any sense there. The presentation of Dead Space 3, the graphics look awesome, still on par with the first two games. It's definitely one of the best parts of Dead Space 3 here. The character models look very detailed and lifelike, especially Isaac Clarke and Ellie Langford, and Isaac's Ridge too, so that along with some of the other occurring characters there. And the environments also look detailed with the smooth frame and crisp lighting stuff, and the weapon butt effects look awesome as well, and the weather effects too. A job well done for sure for the graphics. Once again, there are no cutscenes like that. The story is once again told via over-the-shoulder view, where you're always looking over the shoulder. You're never taking out a cutscene or anything like that, and you're also told via video messages and audio messages and more. The sound, excellent sound once again in Dead Space 3. Fantastic voice acting, all the actors from Pierce and their hair, and sound just awesome as before, mainly Gunnar Wright and Sonia Henry and more. Only problem is some of the actors sound hammed up when they are angry. And the way they record their lines, that it sounds more like an action game or a horror game. Not the harp they are and stuff, but yeah, that's just me. It's not much music once again, just character sounds. That's okay, as far as me. It adds to the feel of Dead Space 3 and stuff like more. Weapon sound effects are awesome here, and the way the gun sound very awesome there. Gameplay in Dead Space 3, this is where things got a little disappointing for me. First off, Dead Space 3 plays like Dead Space, and it feels like Dead Space. Well, somewhat. And they do pull it off really well. They have your weapons, your puzzles, your kinesis, your stages, and more, and it works well. Some of them can be fun and enjoyable. The controls are the same as last time. There should be no problem here for anyone. And you can pick your mission to go around the gravity of space, and have some semi-full field for sure. Because who doesn't like the fast of the space being in the open, exploring these abandoned ships and stuff like that, and blowing them up with a set of missions you can select and more. But a lot of changes were made to Electronic Arts and wanting cooperative play in it, and because of that, no more horror elements there. It's like they mainly focus on the online play and the co-op play and stuff, because that was like the selling points for it for some odd reason. They just took away the horror elements there, and when you compare it to the other two games, it really stands out for sure. This can be a turnoff for those who enjoyed the first two games. Sure, the second game, Dead Space 2, was not as scary as the first one, but still felt like a survival horror game here and there and stuff like that for the most part. Here we just have a linear action third-person shooter which has been done to death before, and just not a good deal at all. And you cannot buy upgraded suits. Sure, you have a suit that comes as DLC and like that, or like day one, which is the N7 Commander Shepard suit, which looks cool, but I don't need a Mass Effect suit in Dead Space 3, and I just don't care for it. The only way you can upgrade your suits like that is by giving them nodes and more at the workbench. And for some reason, you can only have 2 weapons maxed in the inventory. The other 2 games gave you 4, but this time you can only get 2 for some odd reason. You go around scouting for items to upgrade your weapons and more to craft key items that you need to get further in the game. Sometimes you may not even have enough to craft the items, which means you have to fight waves of Necromorphs to get the right amount of credits and craft parts, where it gets to the point where it just gets tedious. And the waypoint sometimes, like when it doesn't tell you that you where to go to get more of these parts like that just shows you where you're supposed to do the objective, and you're gonna be wandering around figuring out where the fuck to go and stuff like that. And just there's also tons of DLC and stuff like that too. There's like tons of the DLC where it's one of those games where you're spending money for this weapon or this item or this or that or so, and more and stuff like that. And it's basically like also just scavenge parts and build your own ultimate weapons like that and stuff, but still just every fun you have to pay to get the parts like that. And I never tried the cooperative play, so I have nothing to say on that. But this is still a good game, but compared to the Dead Space games, the problems really stand out for sure. And the game ends with a cliffhanger that will never be resolved due to Redwood Studios shutting down. And because of that, there will never not be a Dead Space 4, but they are remaking the original Space. We'll see what happens there, but only time will tell for sure. I mean, like I said, it has goods to it, but in the end, this is not scary at all. It's a glorified linear third-person action shooter and stuff that takes place in space that has the Dead Space characters to it. So final thoughts, I do still recommend playing this game, just you're probably gonna enjoy the other two games more than this. I give Dead Space 3 a 7 out of 10. It's the best score I can give it. It's still fun, enjoyable, and it may be fun for people who like cooperative play and like action shooters like that, like play online and stuff, but still, the best score I can give it. The other games were better, but this is still good. Worth checking out, maybe worth a rental or something like that. So that pretty much wraps up my Dead Space series review here. Before we end the review, let's take a look to see how Jackalbird is doing down in Seattle, Washington. Hey, Jackalbird, you still with us? What do you think of Dead Space 3?
Yeah, I'm here, Tony. That was terrible. All the horror elements are gone, and we have this linear action shooter. I think you were too generous with the score, but hey, that's your opinion. I would have given it more like a 4 or 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I understand, I know what you mean, but it still had some Dead Space feel to it. It just could have been better is all.
Yeah, true. So now that we're done with Dead Space, what will you cover next?
Well, that will be a surprise. You will find out next.
Oh, sweet. I like surprises. Cannot wait for sure. But I must now return to my pumpkin patch to guard my pumpkins from thieves, witches, robbers, and more. So I have to go now, Tony. See you soon.
See ya, Jack. Ready for the next episode for sure. Keep an eye on those pumpkins, so no witches or mummies or anything like that, or thieves or robbers or crazy people steal your pumpkins. Just it's around that time of year, Halloween, people getting their pumpkins stolen and stuff and everything. It's just not pretty. But that's pretty much all I gotta say for episode 252 here, part 3 of 3. What was the 253 cover stuff? Well, you have to find out next, which is all I gotta say. If you like what you see here, subscribe, like, comment down below, join my Discord group, TTBurger Gamers United, my Facebook group, TTBurger Gamers Group, and my Facebook page like called TTBurger 8. And I also want to give a shout out to everyone who has supported this channel. I also definitely want to give a shout out to Freaking HD, Subjo, MX, Mac, and also everyone who has just supported for the channel and stuff like that. Just thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Which all I gotta say is Tony. Peace and out. Have a great day. See you all in the 253. Part 1 or whatever we cover. Take care, everybody. You have a good night and have a good day.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room.